Hello everyone, I'm here today to introduce myself, my game and my new Dev Diaries series. So my name is Dominic Edhouse and I am a software engineer. I have a software engineering degree and I do software engineering on a day-to-day basis as part of my job. I do not work in a games industry, I actually work in the power systems industry. However, I've always been interested in video games, and that's primarily what got me into software engineering in the first place. So since learning programming and other software engineering skills, I've spent my time dabbling in Unity and Unreal Engine. Um, Although up until now, I've never released a game or anything else that I've done in Unity, just because I've been learning the software, and I've just never really made anything that I've either felt was good enough to release, or I sort of lost motivation and never finished working on. However, that's changed now, so I'd like to introduce my new game that I'm working on called The City Guard. I've been working on the City Guard for about 6 months now, so I started back in March 2020, and it is a medieval RTS, which I have been making in Unity, as you can see with the window I have open here, and I've been using the C# programming language. I don't know when I'm going to release it. I don't have any release dates planned yet. It's still in closed development, so I haven't had anyone test it yet. It's just purely been me working on it, but it's going well so far. I'm happy with what I have so far, and I'm hoping to get it out to testers later this year and then start thinking about a release date, probably mid next year, so around the summertime next year. So, time to introduce my Dev Diaries series. So, whilst I work on the City Guard, I want to document everything I do with video blogs. And the purpose for this is to keep people up to date with what I'm working on, to provide technical knowledge to people if they want to learn. I'm not going to be teaching the low-level concepts of programming. This is not what the Dev Diary series is for, but if you do have an interest in software development, then I suggest you watch this series, because I talk about how I've chosen to implement certain features. And of course I'll be announcing any sort of exciting features or any release dates within this Dev Diary series as well. You can also find more information about my game by visiting the website or joining the Discord channel. I've also opened up a Patreon page for Basic Games, which is the company that I am branding my game under. The reason why I've started a Patreon page is because I'm only a single developer. Basic Games is not a big team or anything, it's only me. So if you'd like to support me over on Patreon and support the games that I make, please do. So, now that I've introduced myself, the game I'm working on, and the Dev Diaries series for that game, let me introduce you to the game itself. I'm not going to go into great detail today, because that's not what this particular video is about. It's just about introducing myself and the game, but I can at least show you some of the basics of what it looks like. Bear in mind that although I've been working on this game now for 6 months, it does take time to make games, certainly when it's your first game and you haven't really got past experience. So bear in mind if it looks a bit bare at the moment, obviously I've still got a lot to do on the game. That's why there's still at least 12 months remaining on development time. So over time you will see those features getting added. At the moment I don't even have a terrain that you're going to see. But just bear that in mind. So this is the play menu. Again, I'm not going to go into great detail at the moment, but you can see that there's some resources and information text, and this is one of the game worlds that I have open. This is actually a game that I've loaded, so that's why there's certain characters standing in the positions that they are, and that's why the game is paused. That's why we have a few selected guards up here. But this is essentially the game so far. As I've said, it's a medieval RTS, so you will be able to recruit soldiers and you'll be able to have them walking around the city settlement. And there's a big emphasis on law and order, so This is all about keeping the peasants within your city and everyone else within your city happy. So if people are unhappy, or if they're hungry, not getting the resources they need, then of course people are going to become unhappy. They're going to turn to crime. So there's a big emphasis on law and order in this game. You'll have to arrest peasants and try and keep people happy by managing the buildings, constructing new buildings such as farms for making food. But again, I'll go into great more detail about the game in future dev diaries. But as you can see, um, there's a bit of basic functionality to the game so far. I can obviously move the camera around, move the characters around. There is a basic combat system as well, and a basic interaction menu that you just saw there. So there is some basic implementation here. You can click on certain buildings, such as the barracks here. You can recruit new units, as you can see there. It does actually affect these resources up here, such as the local treasury and the barracks fund, which again I'll go in greater detail in the future. You can also see this sort of fog of war effect, which again I will explain in future detail in future videos. But this is the city guard. Again, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. If I quickly hop over to Visual Studio, which is the IDE I'm using to write the game code in, you can see that there is quite a lot of scripts behind this game already. You know, I mean, this is just some of the code, some of the files, sorry, containing game code. But again, I'll go over a lot more of the actual implementation details in future technical dev diaries for all of those who are interested in software engineering and want to know how I've implemented certain things. So this has been a very brief introduction to the City Guard and the new City Guard Dev Diaries series. I look forward to showing you more in the future. Stay tuned.